and accumulate. Now the work begins to get snow-covered roads cleared. Some are better than others as crews work to get highways and interstates in decent shape for driving. This morning, we are tracking the aftermath of the winter storm. We have live team coverage as our road crews hit the streets to try to make it easier for you to get around. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You are watching the Good Morning Show. Our Sydney Moore and Denise McMillan, they're live reporting in Greensboro. We have team coverage in the studio as well with our meteorologists. We have Ed Matthews and Christian Morgan keeping track of not only the refreeze that happened overnight today, but what's ahead for the week. Guys, that's a lot to talk about.
It's a lot to talk about. Of course, now that our storm system has moved away from us, really our big talk is about the cold and about the icy road situation that we're going to have to deal with. Take a look at where we're starting temperatures this morning in the upper 20s to near 30 for pretty much all of us. And actually, this is about 8 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. So our temperatures actually rose overnight. We were stuck in the low 20s pretty much all day yesterday. So right around 30 today, but notice we don't have a whole lot of ways to go. Only into the upper 30s this afternoon, even with a bit of sunshine. And then tonight we drop back down into the upper teens for most of us, maybe even a little cooler, that mid-teens for some of those typically cooler spots. You know who you are if you live in those areas. Of course, live look at the radar. Things are quiet right now here at home. A few snow showers still happening in our mountains, of course, as to be expected. But check out this monstrous system. There it goes, all the way up, wreaking havoc in New England now with tons of snow, even flooding rains in some places off to our north and east. So where do we go from here? What's left? Now that our storm is over, well, those roads, at least the side streets and neighborhoods will stay frozen, not only today, but likely for a few days as well. The major roads should improve by lunchtime as we go into the afternoon, but the sleet, it's really, really difficult to melt because it really is just an ice ball that falls from the sky. So snow is fluffy and pretty delicate. It melts easy. The sleet will be sticking around for a while. So I expect there to be some slick roads at least through the middle of this upcoming week because we never really get above freezing at night. And all nights, again, like I mentioned, are below freezing as we go throughout the rest of the week. So that'll make things, anything that melts, refreeze overnight as we go into the next few mornings. So that's something we'll be keeping an eye on, and then a couple more systems on the way that we have to track later in the week. So we'll be nailing down all those details for you coming up, and we'll have a full look at that 7-day forecast. For now, let's check roads as you get out and about this morning very carefully. Take it easy if you're moving around this morning. If you have to go to work and be out and about, I would say if you can park it at home, at least for the first part of the day, that would be the best thing to do. Notice all these different colors on our traffic map this morning. Tons of orange, tons of yellow, even some red on here. Those are places where the road is either closed or where traffic is moving extremely slow, of course, as to be expected. Check out some of these speeds right now. 29 miles per hour on the urban loop in Greensboro, 45 miles per hour on I-40 westbound. Again, those major roadways clearing up a little quicker than the side streets and neighborhoods, so they'll be slick for a while. Drive times, if you're leaving High Point and you have to go to Winston-Salem right now, only moving at 48 miles per hour, and traffic from High Point to Greensboro moving at 47 miles per hour now. So take it easy. If you can park it at home this morning, really the safest thing to do.
Well, it certainly takes time after a winter storm like the one we got to get the roads cleared. Crews have been working nonstop before and after the storm, but everyone, of course, wants to know, when will my street get cleared? WFMY News 2's Denise McMillan is live at the Greensboro Salt Yard this morning, where crews will start hitting the road shortly. Good morning.
Good morning, Tracy. Well, crews have already started to hit the roads. It's all hands on deck again this morning. And we have seen crews coming in and out of the salt barn here in Greensboro. They've been out here since about 4:30 this morning. We saw a crew not too long ago filling up a salt truck, and you can see all of this salt. The county actually has, Guilford County has about a little more than 8,000 tons of salt. So they'll be pulling in and out all throughout the morning to get these roads clear here throughout the county and throughout the city. We were driving in this morning to work and heading here to the salt barn. Some of those main roads were clear, but it still is a little bit of a false sense of security because there's black ice on these roads, and that is why these crews are coming in, filling up these salt trucks and putting that salt out on the roads to make it safer for folks who have to get out. But if if you don't have to, definitely stay at home. The city of Greensboro reported more than 20 accidents yesterday. We don't want folks getting stranded or getting into any accidents today. So again, if you don't have to get out, don't. But we do know that crews are out here working this morning, hard at work. They've been working around the clock, and we definitely want to thank them for making sure that folks are safe if they do have to get out this morning. We'll continue to bring you updates from the Salt Barn here in Greensboro. For now, live at this barn here in Greensboro, Denise McMiller, WFMY News 2.
Definitely thank our crews, and Denise, thank you as well. Many roads will still be snow covered today, especially those secondary roads and neighborhood streets. WFMY News 2 Sydney Moore is live in Greensboro. Sydney, when I saw your live shot in the last 30 minutes, it was still snow covered.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, it's still a combination of these of this winter storm elements out here on these roads. I'm actually here on the intersection of Battleground Avenue and Green Valley Road. And, you know, crews are still out here on these roads, plowing these areas out here to make it more clear for folks to come out. I mean, my photographer's showing you a great view. You can see how clear it is. And on the sides of the roads, Tracy, just like you were saying, you can see the combination of the winter elements from the storm out here on the side of the roads. It's definitely still windy. The street signs, the street lights are moving in the air from this wind. And also right next to these primary roads is the secondary roads that's still filled with ice. Crews haven't yet gotten to these roads just yet. They're focusing on these primary roads, but if you do live near these secondary roads in these neighborhoods, you want to make sure that you're careful. I will say right here in this area, there aren't any down power lines specifically here, but Greensboro crews do say if you do come across some down power lines, there's some safety tips you should follow, and that is to avoid them and also report them to Duke Energy.
All right, thank you, Sydney. Here's a look at how the city of Greensboro maps out which streets are plowed first. The roads in red are the first priority. You can see them here. They're the more traveled roads: New Garden, Wendover Avenue, Gate City Boulevard. Well, those are the roads that will get attacked first. Now, the roads that are marked in green are the priority 2 roads. We have a link to this map as well as a few more ways to check the status of snow cleanup in your area. You can text the word roads to 336-379-5775 and we'll send you a link back with the information. It is 6:06 right now. Let's get you caught up with your news to know in 90 seconds. This morning, Duke Energy crews are working to get power back on for thousands of people in our state. Here's a look at the current outage map. Thankfully, the Triad was largely spared. The sleet fell longer, and we didn't get as much freezing rain or ice. Most of the power outages were reported in Moore County, just east of Charlotte. Schools are closed today for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, but because of weather, other activities are also canceled. Guilford County Schools says all extracurricular activities, including sports and band practices, are canceled today and tomorrow. They will pick back up on Wednesday when students are set to return to class. Tuesday is a teacher workday. The snow is also delaying a local celebration honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The International Civil Rights Center and Museum is closed today due to snow. As a result, they are delaying their virtual Martin Luther King Jr. program. It will now happen on Wednesday and Thursday night. Well, there are many ways that you can honor Dr. King and the holiday that's named in his honor. Today is recognized as a day of service. People are encouraged to use today as a day on, not a day off, and give back to their communities. If you're interested in volunteering, AmeriCorps has a database where you can search for service options by zip code. Also remember, with the holiday, post offices, city buildings, and government agencies are closed today. Keep that in mind before you go out. That's a look at your news to note in 90 seconds. Well, everyone is talking about the snow on social media today, and for good reason. While it can make things like getting around challenging, the blast of winter weather is fun for a lot of people, especially all the kiddos taking advantage of some fun snow days. Check this out. It was Johnny's birthday yesterday, and Spider-Man braved the cold to show up and to celebrate. That is so cool. This group wanted to enjoy the snow, but they didn't have a sled, so they grabbed a boogie board and made it happen. The cold is not for everyone, of course, like these girls who decided to stay warm in the hot tub, hats included. I like that. And check out this News 2 fan, Johnny, showing off his twos while out in the snow. I love it, Johnny. Thank you for your support. And while most of the flakes stopped yesterday morning, there was one last burst of snow last night. Check out this video from Randall Min. Wow. Well, we'd love to see your pictures and your videos of the winter storm and all the fun you had in it. Let us know, what fun did you have and what did things look like at your house this morning? Are your neighborhood roads plowed? You can keep sending in your pictures and that information by texting us 336-379-5775. We do ask that you include your name and where you are from. All right, I did not get out in the snow, only to drive through it, and which was bad enough. But it's so great to see all of these pictures of kids especially enjoying the snow. My husband did take my three out, and he said as soon as he got them all dressed up and bundled for the cold temperatures, it started to sleet. But he didn't have the heart to bring them back inside.
No. Ed, did you play in it? I know you did.
Just a little. But I tell you what, the wind yesterday was so brutal, you really couldn't stay out very long because, you know, we had single-digit wind chills pretty much all day long. And the funny thing, when I got home from work, and it's like, well, I got to take Rio out and let her do her thing. And so I put her sweater on, took her out, and she just stood there like, you gotta be kidding me. So this morning, my condo is kind of draped in pads, if you know what I mean. So we're not gonna venture out. And you know, I gotta say, you know, I'm not a big snow fan. I like snow. It's cool, it's pretty, it's beautiful. I just despise ice.
Yeah.
And so I really hated to see that fluffy snow change over to the ice, but it is such a joy to watch kids get out and enjoy it.
Yeah, it is. Golly, you know, and we saw so many pictures and so many videos yesterday morning of while it was still snowing and while it was pure snow, folks up early and enjoying that. And that was really the best time to do it. You know, if you wanted to make a snowball or make a quick snowman, yesterday morning was the time to do it because, you know, yesterday afternoon it got, you know, icy and that nice crusty, you know, top to it.
Yeah, and depending on where you are in the Triad, you saw quite a bit of snow, maybe 3 inches in some places. We only got 1 inch at my house, according to my husband. All right, it's 6:11 right now. We're going to take a quick break, but we encourage you to keep sending us your fun shots, 336-379-5775. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Well, after that beautiful fluffy snow that we had yesterday morning, we had hours and hours of sleet. And now this is what we're dealing with this morning. Yeah, out here in the weather garden, it's like climbing over boulders or rocks, if you will. So this is not the fun stuff. Yeah, just blocks and blocks of snow and ice kind of packed together. Some of that is on the highways this morning, and with temperatures that have dropped into the 20s to near 30 this morning. Even though the roads have been plowed in many locations, there's a layer of ice under that snow, so the roads are still in pretty poor conditions. But I think the major roads will improve through the day, but it's those secondary roads and those neighborhood roads that are going to remain icy. And we're going to have to deal with ice, of course, this morning, but again tomorrow morning and maybe even into Wednesday morning, because temperatures each morning are going to drop well into the 20s, so anything that tries to melt is going to refreeze. Wind chills, yeah, we do have them this morning. Not a strong wind. We've so far had a wind gust of about 20-25 miles per hour, occasionally making it feel like it's in the teens. Now, obviously the precipitation is gone. I think today kind of a mix of sun and clouds, but we'll take all the sun that we can get to help in the melting process. Our winter storm is racing up through New England. Some of the heaviest snow this morning is over upstate New York. That's extending into Vermont and New Hampshire and will eventually move into the state of Maine. That low pressure moving away, but it's such an intense and strong area of low pressure. The winds are going to stay up today. A 25-30 mile per hour wind gust, certainly a possibility today, but the winds relax tonight. High pressure builds in. We're going to bottom out into the upper teens to near 20 overnight tonight. Next front moves in, brings a chance of rain Thursday in the morning, and then behind it, cold air, maybe a snow shower Thursday night and into Friday. This front will move on through, but the big question for Friday and Saturday, how far offshore is it going to go? If it hugs the coast, it may throw some moisture back in for some snow showers on Friday and Saturday. We'll keep you posted on that throughout the week. Keeping you posted on the weather today. If you got to venture out, be careful. Sun and clouds and windy and 38. It'll feel like it's in the 20s. Clear and cold, diminishing winds, snowpack, and a clear sky. And we go to 19 tonight.
You'd never know who's going to be the love of your life. A woman named Kitten has just married the color pink. Truly. Kitten wore a pink dress, arrived in a pink Chevy, and bought herself a pink ring. I'm guessing he went something like this. I just love pink. And then the friend said, well, why don't you marry it? Coming up at 7:10, you can win $1,000 on Mix 99.5.
Investigators are still working to figure out a motive after a hostage situation inside of a Texas synagogue. This morning, the suspect, identified as 44-year-old British citizen, is dead. All of the hostages are okay, able to get out safely after a nearly 12-hour standoff. This is video of the moment an FBI hostage rescue team was able to free the hostages. Police say the suspect took 4 people hostage during a Shabbat service, claiming to be armed with guns and bombs. The rescue team killed the suspect. Again, all hostages are safe. Officials do not believe the suspect was targeting the Jewish community. This morning, tennis Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic is home in Serbia, kicked out of the Australia Open after the government revoked his visa for a second time. A court ruled he posed a risk to public health and order by not being vaccinated against COVID, but still meeting with reporters and hosting events. In a statement, the 20-time Grand Slam winner said he was extremely disappointed by the court's ruling, but he would respect it. The Australian Open starts today with the world's #1 men's player now out. The estate of the late artist Prince is set to be divided next month. The musician did not leave a will, and a legal battle ensued over his estate for the last 6 years. Now it will be split between a music company and 3 of the late musician's siblings. The estate is reportedly worth more than $156 million. We'll be right back.
Well, coming up on 6:30 as you're waking up on this Monday morning, welcome back to the Good Morning Show, and thought it would be interesting to take a look at some of these snowfall and sleet totals from yesterday. Check out Rural Hall, 5.5 inches there, a little over 4 inches in Lexington, 3.5 in Winston-Salem, a little over 3 inches in Kernersville, 3 in Thomasville. PTI, which will go down in the record books for Greensboro, picked up 2 inches. And we still have not broken the streak. The last time we had one single day with more than 2 inches was back in December of 2018. About 1.5 inches there in Burlington as well. Of course, some crazy totals up in the mountains. 9.5 inches in Boone, 7 inches up in northern Stokes County and Lawsonville. So there were some folks who really did get some decent snow. And of course, you add on the sleet on top of that as well. Take a look at our temperature trend over the last 20 hours. Yesterday, we stuck it out in the low and mid 20s all day long. So overnight, actually, our temperatures rose quite a bit. We're in the upper 20s to near 30 degrees right now all across the board. And that's where we will likely spend most of the day. We're only going to warm up into the mid and upper 30s as we go into the afternoon. So even with sunshine, it's a cold day of weather and a windy day of weather too, with some gusts around 20 to 25 miles per hour. Notice we don't ever come above freezing for the next few nights. Chilly afternoons as well. Low 40s tomorrow, mid 40s on Wednesday, and then we have another round of mischief later in the week. One system on Thursday, another one Friday into Saturday that we'll keep an eye on.
Ten 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1.
Take a step
Back. Okay, I'll step to the side. They are getting a little muffled. It's like muffling, she said. It might be how my cord is in my shirt. I'm gonna check it. Might be how I have it positioned.
Hey, well, it's no secret that we are still dealing with the aftermath of yesterday's storm. City crews are back at it this morning. Okay.
Okay. Ten 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. Okay. Okay. She told me to stand still and not move.
Turn this on.
Turn this one off.
is the morning after our winter storm. The Martin Luther King Jr. holiday means schools and offices are closed, but city and state crews will be busy working to clear the roads from snow and ice. Here's your chance to be a part of our coverage. We want to know what it looks like at your house. Are the roads plowed? Text us your pictures and conditions, plus your name and where you're from to 336-379-5775. Good morning and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It is 6:31 on Monday, January 17th. Our live team coverage continues this morning with WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller and Sydney Moore. They are monitoring road conditions as crews work to clear snow-covered roads so that you stay safe. We also have our team of meteorologists in studio keeping an eye on the temperatures, which were so incredibly low this morning. On top of the snow and sleet that's still on the ground, it's making for a very slick ride anywhere you go today.
Yeah, it is a slick ride this morning, and that could last for a few days. And I'll tell you what, it's just going to be a windy and cold day, even with sunshine coming up. And even though the main roads will be better by the middle of the day and this afternoon, those side streets in our neighborhoods will likely be slick for not only today and tomorrow, but probably the next few days, even through the middle of the week. And then later this week, we got to talk about another few systems that will head our way. They may be able to produce some winter weather as well. We're going to take these one day at a time, of course, so we'll be nailing down the details on that as we get closer. For now, it's a cold start out the door this morning, but actually much warmer than we were yesterday morning. We were in the low 20s yesterday morning, upper 20s to near 30 degrees for most all of us this morning. 29 in Greensboro, 30 in Winston-Salem, 31 down in Asheboro. Good morning to you there, and 31 in Lexington as well. Of course, the afternoon is still going to remain cold. We actually don't have a whole lot of ways to go. Upper 30s to near 40 this afternoon, but with that wind, it'll feel like it's in the 20s for most of the day. And then a really cold night on the way tonight. Most of us will drop down into the teens, maybe even a little lower than that, especially in those rural spots and typically colder spots. You know where you are if you live in one of those. Of course, coming up, we'll talk about the quiet weather through the middle of the week, and then we'll dive into some details on what may happen later in this week. Ed will break down that full 7-day forecast in just a couple minutes. For now, let's take a quick check on traffic as you get out and about very easily this morning. Take it easy. Use caution if you have to be out and about this morning. If you can stay home for at least the first part of the day, I would highly encourage that. Notice all this orange and yellow, even some red on our traffic map here. All of that is slowdowns and slow moving traffic this morning. Even some road closures in some places thanks to that ice and maybe a few down trees as well. 29 miles per hour right now on the urban loop. That's I-840. Of course, it goes around Greensboro, and 47 miles per hour on I-40 westbound this morning. So the highways, I've already gotten some reports that the highways are starting to look a little bit better, but they're still slick in spots. And of course, on our way to work this morning, I can tell you the neighborhoods and the side streets are still an ice rink. So play it safe this morning. Drive times leaving High Point headed to Winston-Salem slow now at 51 miles per hour, and leaving High Point headed to Greensboro at 45 miles per hour on Business 85. Take it easy this morning. That's a quick look at Triad traffic.
Well, just to emphasize Christian's point here, if you don't have to go out today, your best bet is to stay home. There's still a lot of work to do when it comes to clearing snow and ice off the roads. WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller live in Greensboro in the city's salt lot. And Denise, what time do crews get going this morning?
Well, when I got here to the salt yard at about 4:30 this morning, I saw trucks heading out with their truck beds full of salt. And even our photographer mentioned that while he was driving in a little bit earlier, he saw trucks already out on the road. So they've definitely been out here working around the clock to get these roads cleared for folks. And if you can take a look behind me, you can see this huge pile of salt. The city of Greensboro has about 3,000 tons of salt here, and they're going to definitely get good use of it because they are coming in here, filling up and heading back out to salt these roads. You can actually take a look at some of this video that we have up right now showing one of these salt trucks coming to get filled up, and it didn't take any time for them to get them filled up and for them to get back out on these city roads to get them clear. Now, there are about 45 city trucks that have salt spreaders and plows on them, so we definitely have ample crews out here working to get these roads cleared. But I just want to make sure that folks know that on some of these main roads, yes, the main roads, most of them that we saw in the city were pretty clear, but they're still slick. there's some opportunities for you to slip and slide on the road. So don't try and do the typical speed limit. And on those secondary roads, there's still a good amount of snow that has frozen over on those roads. So definitely, if you don't have to get out, try not to. But we do know that the city is now working on some of those secondary and neighborhood roads to get those cleared and make it easier for folks who must get out this morning. But again, crews are hard at work, and that's good to know that they're out here working to make sure that folks are able to travel safely this morning. For now, back to you in the studio.
All right, Denise, thank you. That's good to know. We'll explain those priority roads and how that works in just a few minutes. But we know it could take days before all of the side streets and neighborhood roads are clear. With that angle of our coverage this morning, let's get to WFMY's Sydney Moore with the latest on what's happening on those secondary roads. And there is a lot of snow where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on the intersection of Battleground Avenue and Green Valley Road. Take a look right behind me. Here's that secondary road you're talking about, Tracy. A lot of snow and ice from all of those winter elements from yesterday's winter storm. And you can see in comparison to it right next door is this primary road where crews are taking care of and plowing these streets to make sure that it's clear for when folks do get out on these roads, that it is clear. But yes, it's a complete difference. So if you are living out on these secondary roads, be patient. Crews are working hard this morning to take care of the primary roads first, and then soon enough they'll get to these secondary roads for those folks that live near those roads. As you can see, also it's definitely windy. The street signs are moving up here, as well as the stoplight signs are also moving. So very, very windy, making it very cold out here as well. I can also say that I don't see any down power lines specifically on the intersection of Battleground Avenue and Green Valley Road. But Greensboro crew members do say if you do come across any type of down power lines, you're asked to avoid them and report them to Duke Energy.
Thank you, Sydney. Excellent reporting this morning. Let's take a look at how the city of Greensboro maps out which streets are plowed first. The roads in red are the first priority. You can see those are more traveled roads, including New Garden, Wendover Avenue, Gate City Boulevard. Then they move on to the roads marked in green, the priority 2 areas. We have a link to this map as well as a few more ways to check the status of snow cleanup in your area. Text the word roads to 336-379-5775 and we'll send you back the information. It is 6:38, time for your news to know in 90 seconds. Most of the big COVID testing sites in Greensboro will be closed today. The StarMed site at the Four Seasons Town Center is closed along with the testing site at Piedmont Hall. The clinic on Northline Avenue is also closed today. If you do need a test, the site on Meadowview Road will be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. today. Well, this morning, Duke Energy is working to get power back on to thousands of people in our state. Thankfully, the Piedmont was largely spared from widespread outages. Most of the problems this morning are in Moore County, east of Charlotte. There are only about 200 outages in Winston-Salem and Greensboro this morning. The National Guard is in Surry County helping out after the winter storm. They shared pictures of Guard members helping out some tractor trailers that skidded out in Surry County. On Sunday, I-77 had to shut down due to several wrecks for a little while. With temperatures below freezing, a warming center is open in Greensboro. The Interactive Resource Center partnered with First Baptist Church to open a shelter at their church. It's on West Friendly Avenue. It's open until noon today, and then they'll reopen again later tonight. Stay up to date with the latest weather headlines on WFMYnews2.com. That's a look at your news to note in 90 seconds. We're going to use those extra seconds for our social conversation this morning.
You know, we don't get it much, so when we do get it, you know, everybody gets a little bit excited. Well, most people get a little bit excited. I do, at least.
Oh, we got snow. That is for sure. The second snow of the year. An exciting day for a lot of people in the Triad, whether they spent it out in the snow or stayed inside, staying warm. It's what everybody's talking about online 24 hours after we saw the first snowflakes fall. So this morning we want to know, what do things look like at your house this morning? Are the roads clear or are they covered with snow? Let's take a look at some pictures that we just got in. Scott texted us a picture of Farmer Road in Ashboro this morning, and you can see lots of snow on the grass and some snow and slick conditions on the roadway in the foreground. Here is a snow-covered State Street in Greensboro last night. You can see a lot of shops that are normally open and busy. They were closed yesterday because of all that snow. A snowy Carolina Classic Fairground was captured in Winston-Salem by Cody and Zach as they went out walking. Great shot there. And this one is from Benji. He called Griffith Street in Thomasville a winter wonderland, and that it was. We would love to see more pictures of your winter storm adventures. What fun did you get into? And what does it look like at your house this morning? Are the roads plowed, or do they need to be plowed? You can text us your information, 336-379-5775, and we ask that you include your name and where you're sending your pictures from. All right, so on my way in this morning, I definitely took it slow. I was driving, 2 hands on the wheel, snow mode, at a snail's pace, and I managed to get here okay until I got to the parking lot and tried to get in. I had to gun it a little bit, but I think if you go slow enough this morning, you should be okay if you have to go out. We work in an industry where we have to be here, and I didn't want Megan here because she's 2 weeks away from her baby, so wanted to keep her safe and away. But guys, how was your ride in this morning?
I'll tell you, I spend a lot of time on Cone Boulevard on my way to work in the mornings, and it's still an ice rink out there this morning.
Wow.
So I was taking it real slow. And I'll make a comment here too. A Scott's picture early in those pictures that you showed there on Farmer Road in Asheboro. I grew up not far from there. And I'll tell you, that road is notorious. That curve is notorious for sending cars down in the ditch and off the side of the road. And actually, usually, every time we have a situation like this or an icing or a snow situation, they actually close that road for a few days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the history on that. I mean, you could see the curve and you could see the ice. You can't even call it black ice because you can see the ice on the roadway. But yeah, thanks for that. Ed Matthews, you had a short trip into work this morning. How was it?
Well, it was A-OK. I tell you what, I have a long list of great reasons to live in downtown Greensboro, and one of them is that they don't waste any time clearing the streets downtown. That is for sure. I would imagine that I live in the priority 1 section, but even though, and I heard crews all during the night going up and down the streets of downtown Greensboro doing the plowing and scraping, but even under that, there's a sheet of ice that you can see. So again, you got to be careful. I think the main roads will improve later on today, but these secondary roads and neighborhood roads, we're going to deal with ice on those maybe, certainly tomorrow, but maybe even into Wednesday morning as we go well below freezing each morning this week.
All right, so the key to life in a snowstorm is to move downtown.
Yes, it's a great place to live. You know how much I love downtown Greensboro, and yeah, the cleaning of the streets is just one of them.
Everybody's coming to Ed's house.
Seriously.
There you go.
I know where I'm staying next time. Thanks so much, guys. And you can get into this conversation too. Text us 336-379-5775, and we'll be right back with more of the Good Morning Show.
Good morning, Piedmont Triad. The time is 6:47. Icy roads across the Piedmont this morning. Now, temperatures will ease above freezing, and we're going to be looking for some sunshine. Not a totally sunny day, but more of a mix of sun and clouds. We'll take all that sun we can get shining down on the roadways to melt the ice and to dry out the pavement. So I think the main highways are going to improve somewhat as we go through the day, but it's those neighborhood streets and those secondary roads that are likely going to remain rather icy, not only this morning, but tomorrow morning and maybe even into Wednesday morning. And although temperatures go above freezing during the day, each morning this week, temperatures are going to go well below freezing here in the Piedmont. So we're going to be talking about ice for several mornings here in the Piedmont. And current temperatures, after hovering in the lower 20s yesterday, have actually gone up a bit overnight. And we're looking at upper 20s to around freezing across the area this morning. You factor in a breeze out here in the weather garden. Occasionally the wind chills go down into the teens. Now, the snow is ended in our area. We still got some clouds this morning. And with that wraparound moisture lifting up over the higher terrain of the Blue Ridge, the mountains of Virginia and western North Carolina will continue to see snow showers today with that northwesterly wind that may gust up 25, maybe a few spots near 30 miles per hour. And although we're going for the upper 30s for highs today, the wind chills are going to be down into the 20s. The winds diminish tonight under a clear sky. The snow and ice pack, we're going to go down to around 19 by early on Tuesday morning. High pressure builds in, a little moderation in temperatures. How about mid and upper 40s by Wednesday? This cold front will bring a few showers mainly Thursday morning, and then another blast of Arctic air behind it, maybe some snow showers Thursday night, and then this front moves through and a second area of low pressure develops on that front. That could give us some snow showers as we go into Friday and Saturday. If the front is near the coast, if it races on by, it's going to be dry by the end of the week. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. Upper 30s today with wind chills in the 20s. It'll be clear and very cold tonight. We'll go down into the upper teens.
I missed what you said. I heard, hey, Itanese. That's all I heard.
Check.
Oh, okay. Cool. We're here at the Salt Yard here in Greensboro talking about how crews are working.
There you go.
1098-76-54321. 1098-76-54321.
We want to show you the roadways around the area before you head out today. It is the day after the winter storm, and there are still hundreds of snow-covered and icy roads. It will take around-the-clock work by city and state crews today. So WFMY News 2's IT Miller is live with a closer look at the work that's going on right now.
Well, the snow and sleet has stopped, but the aftermath of the storm remains. And we are here at the salt yard here in Greensboro. Take a look at the parking lot. It's pretty empty. And that's because many of their crews are out on the roads actively clearing and spreading salt on the city roads. This is one of the salt spreaders you're taking a look at right now. This is what they look like once they're filled up. So crews are coming in, hopping in these trucks and heading out to go out and clear out some of these roads. Now, the city has about 45 of these trucks, so there's ample trucks out there right now. When we were driving in earlier this morning, a couple of hours ago, we saw them out on the roads, spreading salt, plowing some of the roads. Now, that doesn't mean that it's safe for you to get out right now. Let them get out here, do their work, and stay home if you can, and let us do the work for you and inform you on what's going on out here in the city. Back to you in the studio.
And just like ITD said, crews are out here all morning long plowing these streets. I'm on the intersection of Battleground Avenue and Green Valley Road, where you can see this road coming up along here. Pretty clear. It's getting clear. Definitely some trucks are coming here plowing these areas, and you can see on the sides of the roads there's still a combination of those winter elements from that winter storm here as well too. It's definitely still windy, definitely still cold after this aftermath of this winter storm. So definitely, if you do find yourself coming out here this morning, you want to make sure that you drive with caution. But just as officials say, if you don't have to come out here at all, try to avoid coming out here on the roads.
Yeah, thanks for that, Sydney. And those major roads will be fine as you get into the middle of the day and into the afternoon, but side roads, neighborhoods will likely be slick, not only today, tomorrow, but possibly even into the middle of the week. Sunny and cold and windy today, upper 30s, feeling like the 20s when you factor in those wind gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. Down to the teens tonight, sunny and cold for your Tuesday in the low 40s. We get back up to near 50 by the middle of the week, and possibly more winter mischief on the way late this week. We'll keep an eye on that, keep you updated.
I don't know about you guys, but it feels like Friday to me.
I don't know what day it is.
I don't either.
They just all run together. Thanks for joining us here on the Good Morning Show. Look for updates on WFMYnews2.com, and we'll see you online for a special edition of After GMS at 8 this morning. Take care.
Cold is locked in, what that means for those icy roads at noon.
No worries. Megan's taking my picture live, so we can just do it.
10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1. 10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1. Thanks. Sorry.
There you go.
Three minutes. Yep. Two minutes. Mm-hmm. One minute. Mm-hmm. 30. Stand by. Yeah, absolutely. You can see a much clearer vision of this right now. I'm on the intersection of Green Valley Road and Battleground Avenue. You can see in comparison right here, this primary road, crews are using some plowing trucks here to clear up these roadways. But right here on the side, you can see that the combination of the winter elements from this winter storm that happened yesterday is still here. But as I said, these primary roads are being cleared. Right next to it, this secondary road, Tracy, just like you were saying, I mean, still very, very icy. You can see the snow and the ice still covering this entire road. So if you're going to get out and you're going to travel today, you definitely want to be careful. But officials are saying to avoid these areas if possible, but you definitely want to drive with caution if you do find yourself out on these roads. And I think that's it for me, right? And then we'll just do the tape one. Okay.